Hey guys, Victor here, and welcome to another episode of Film Fan Perspective. And for this episode, I'm actually going to tell you guys my top 10 favorite movies of 2016. So before I start the list, I'm going to say straight out of the gate that these aren't the best 10 movies of 2016. Obviously, film is subjective. But these are the 10 films that I actually quite enjoyed, and I might have seen a couple of times. Now, before I begin with that list, I do have a couple of honorable mentions because there were so many interesting movies this year. I know people have been bashing on the fact that 2016 has been a weak year of cinema, and I would argue actually that it is a weak blockbuster year. But I thought there were a couple of nice independent movies that came out this year. You'll probably see that on my list. But anyways, as for the honorable mentions, I have here The Jungle Book because of the amazing visual effects. Again, that film was amazing. Then I also have Bad Moms because I actually like Bad Moms. I ended up celebrating my birthday to Bad Moms, and that probably turned out fairly well. I had a nice time. Not many people enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Then I also have Kubo and the Two Strings, a movie that I actually had no expectations whatsoever, but like it again has impressed. I wasn't quite as impressed with their previous works, and then maybe Box Trolls was a movie, or Paranorman was a movie that kind of turned me around to them. And this, again, I thought this movie would have won Best Animated Picture, but as you'll see in my list, I have another contender that might actually take that award. I also have Sully, and I just bought it on Blu-ray, and I'm about to watch it right now after this video, so that's going to be in there, my honorable mentions. And lastly, I have The Accountant, and The Accountant is as some would say, it's an interesting movie. I actually quite enjoyed it. I know the critics didn't quite favor it as much as I did, but from what I've heard and spoken to people who've actually seen the movie, they've actually quite enjoyed it. So I have that on my honorable mentions. And now let us begin with the actual top 10 list. So starting off at number 10, I have Don't Breathe, and I'm not a horror film at all, and you might call me a chicken, and that would be correct. But I actually was hearing a lot of buzz coming off from this film, and I decided to check it out because the trailers actually seemed interesting, and my brothers were down. They're actually horror fans, so I got to go with them, and I enjoyed it. The performance by Scott Lang was amazing as a blind man, and you have that twist that actually makes this film stand out amongst other great horror films that came out this year. So at number 9, I have The Edge of 17, a coming-of-age story starring Haley Steinfeld, and I quite enjoyed this film. It was a nice little coming-of-age story. The comedy was amazing, and the chemistry between her and Woody Harrelson was great. At number 8, I have Doctor Strange, and this has to be my favorite Marvel proper or Marvel Studio film of the year. I know a lot of people might have Captain America, and while I did like Captain America, I'm a sucker for origin stories. I know a lot of people hate them, but I thought that the story for Doctor Strange was made well, and the visual effects, it was compared to Inception, but when you really think about it, it's basically Inception dialed up to 11. At number 8, I have Moana, and I gotta say, I wasn't quite excited about this movie at the beginning until I saw the second trailer that implemented the music by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and this movie is actually quite amazing. It's going to win Best Animated Picture, hands down, and it's a nice experience for families to go, and if you guys have not seen it, please, by all means, go check it out if you have the chance. At number 6, I have Moonlight, and out of all the movies in my list, this is probably the one that I knew least about, and ended up leaving the theater just amazed. I did not even see a trailer for this movie, so I ended up going in with a blank slate, and that's probably the best way, and that's probably why it made my list, because this movie is so impactful. It's actually my second favorite to win Best Picture this year, behind another movie that's going to be on my list. A spoiler alert, I guess. But Barry just did a wonderful film. I liked the fact that it was spread into 3 different stages. The way the movie was made, developed, you name it, it's amazing, and it's worthy of being on my top 10 list of all time at number 6. Now at number 5, I have Hacksaw Ridge, and this movie, again, was one of the Oscar buzz movies. The first one that I actually saw, I believe it came out in November. And I know a lot of people have kind of soured on it, but I actually thought it was amazing. The way that the beginning is so soft-spoken, so calm and peaceful, as opposed to the second half of the movie, which is all war. And Mel Gibson, for whatever he's done, he can direct a good action film, especially a good war film, as we've seen with the other movies that he's done that I can't remember right now, and I'll probably put in the video post-credit. But anyways, again, check it out if you've had the chance. I think it's still showing, so if you haven't seen it, definitely check this one out. At number four, I have Arrival, and this movie again, kind of similar to Moonlight. I didn't have many expectations or much expectations for this movie, and when I saw it, there were a couple things that irked me, especially the cutscenes with her flash with Lois Lane, with with Amy Adams' character flashing back to her daughter, and I was wondering through that movie why those scenes were there, and I guess I should probably put a spoiler here somewhere, but at the end we realize the reasoning for that, and when that moment happened, everything just clicked, and it instantly has become one of my favorite movies of 2016. At number three, I have Deadpool, and I know many of you guys are saying, hey, you said Doctor Strange was your favorite Marvel film of the year. Well, Marvel studio made film. This is probably my favorite Marvel film made by Fox in a long time. And it was interesting because I wasn't going to see it opening day. I was interested in the movie, but I wasn't going to go see it opening day. But I ended up making a last minute decision to see it Thursday night, and it was a good decision. I had a blast, and I actually saw it a couple times in theater, and I think I've seen it a couple times on the Blu-ray as well. So this is definitely making my top list, and it's also a nice refresher, with all these comic book movies that we're getting, to see something different in the comic book genre. So at number two, I have Eddie the Eagle, and I'm going to start off by saying that all the other movies on my list are probably a better made movie than this movie, but what this movie does well is that it just brings a lot of joy and happiness to people. It's a nice underdog story, if you will, about this guy who, isn't really athletic at the beginning. He has issues growing up, but he starts to become what he wants to become, which is his dream of being an Olympian. And I actually did not get a chance to see this in theaters. I bought it on Blu-ray, and I swear that when I bought it, I saw it 3 times that week. It was just that great. And I wish it got more love in the theater, because this movie is actually a nice, heartwarming story that tugs at the heartstrings. And if you guys have not seen it, please do yourselves a favor and check this movie out. And at number one, no surprise, I have La La Land. This is a movie that I've been waiting for about half a year, as you guys have seen in my review. And I've just hyped this movie up in my mind since I saw the trailers. I listened to the soundtrack a week before the movie actually came out. And, it met all my expectations. It is amazing. It's my favorite to win Best Picture of the year, but we'll see. I still have to check out Silence to see how that fares against this. But again, this is my favorite movie of 2016, and I've seen it a couple times already, and every time I leave the theater, I leave feeling refreshed and happy of the wonderful experience. Well, I guess I shouldn't say too happy because of the ending, as for those of you guys who've seen it very well know, but it's a very charming experience. The first time I saw it, I remember I had a smile on my face the whole time. So here's hoping this will win a lot of awards come Oscar season. And again, this is my favorite movie of the year. So that's it for this video, guys. That was my top 10 list of favorite movies for 2016. Please let me know in the comments section which one were you most impressed with this year. And also make sure to check out my following videos coming up this week. One being the top 5 disappointing movies of 2016. And let me tell you, there have been a couple. And also my top anticipated movies of 2017. I don't know if I'm going to make it a top 10 or a top 5. It's going to be a game time decision. But nevertheless, make sure to check that out as well. Until next time, guys. See y'all later and have a wonderful new year.